Okay, let's try this again. I am Corporal Steve Vuco. I had trouble uploading. I have the Gulf War illness, and a few things that I'm trying to push for are I'd like to change the way the VA treats its Gulf War illness patients, specifically like me. Right now, the VA uses we're going to treat the symptom approach. They stop looking, they hardly ever try it, I don't think, to actually find what causes it. I had the trend somewhere, they're in a box. I'll eventually find them where you could look at, in like 1995, you had like maybe 15,000 people with the illness, and you go forward like 5 years, and you got like another 50,000, another 5 years, and another 50,000, another 5 years, another maybe like 30,000. So it's kind of like people have been consistently coming down with this illness for a while, and maybe the trend kind of slowed down a little bit, but a lot of people are still getting sick just like I am. And one of the things that really burns me is nobody warned me that this is coming, and being cut down in a prime of your career, that really sucks. Other than having to wait 4.5 years to get a diagnosis from the VA, that's horrible. But I know I got my diagnosis now, so I know I'm going to get my $3,000 a month or whatever from the VA. But so that's fine. I'll be able to live on that. But the thing I'm worried about is I know there were still people getting sick 5 years ago when I got sick. I have no idea what that number is. Back then it was like 30% of the people that fought in the Gulf War had this issue. And now it's I don't know, it's got to be close to like 30-40%. It's insane. And then for my first 2 years I saw a private doctor, and I had all of these really bad reactions to the antibiotics that I was on. And she was one of the best dermatologists in reviews and everything, not just me saying it, in the area that I was living. And it was sort of kind of weird how we went back and forth with, I was on this antibiotic, then it was like, I can't handle it anymore, I got to get off. It was really weird because she kept like looking at me like nobody really has that sort of reaction to this antibiotic. So it wasn't really like a side effect, I'll just call it an adverse reaction. But anyways, I saw her for like 2 years, and then eventually I bled through my retirement for pretty much for about my first 4 years with this illness. I averaged sleeping between 12 and 14 hours a day. There were a couple times where I'd go like, I'd sleep 20 hours a couple days in a row. Just this weird stuff going on with this illness, and I kept going. So then, eventually I started going to the VA doctors, and I keep going to all these VA doctors, and not a single one of them knows about Gulf War illness. Some of them will like shake their head, and others will act like they'll pretend like they're a subject matter expert even though they don't know anything. I'll ask just a couple of simple questions, not like really complicated stuff. Like if you're just watching this for the first time and you look at like the first web page that was open for Gulf War illness, it'll say, if you have to have the symptoms for 6 or more months, and you have to present in 3 or more of these 6 categories. So, if I talk to a doctor and they're like, oh yeah, Gulf War illness, of course I've heard of it. And be like, yeah. I'm like, so, of the 6 categories, I have like 5, I have symptoms in 5 of the 6 categories. I go, you know about the categories, right? And they'll sit there and go, And they go, tell me about the categories. And then they know I caught them fucking bullshit me again. Yes, VA healthcare is an oxymoron. Stop lying. I know if you become a doctor, your ego gets really big, but don't pretend to be an expert on something and speak of it when you don't know jack shit about it. And I'm going to get into that a lot. So anyways, the first doctor I saw, she, I was reading all this stuff on the internet, and I'm just like, man, this stuff's really crazy, because it sounds like they don't know anything about it, and these people stay sick for a long time, and they're working on treatments. I'm like, it's been 20 years. If they don't have good treatments now, it's probably not going to happen in my lifetime. So I really didn't want my diagnosis to come back Gulf War illness. Oh no, there's no timer. I have no idea how long I'm going. Anyways, I'm going to get through the first 2 doctors. So hopefully I'll try and go quick. And I'll try and add some humorous Marine Corps stories or other stories. Okay, so the first doctor, you probably saw in the other videos, but I talked to her for a while. I talked about Gulf War illness and all these different things, and she stops, she looks at me, and she goes, you know what? I don't think the golf for illness exists. She's like, I think what you really need to do is, I think you should wash your face and get a job. She's like, oh my God. And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, my God, I'm not communicating to her. It's like, so I kept trying to make my point and say, no, it's like, I've got this and this, and this looks like this. And I point out my skin condition, just nothing like ever saw, really ungodly. And I'll try and explain it to you later. And she's just like, she thought she'd fool me by like switching to Latin. She's like, you've got cystic vulgaris, or however you pronounce it. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I was raised Catholic. I'm like, you're calling this acne? And I'm just like, are you kidding me? And that's where I kind of knew, okay, then I'm like, well, maybe she's just the first doctor. She doesn't know anything about it. So then afterwards, they sent me like a 20-page questionnaire to fill out about how happy my service was. If you've seen my other videos, I don't have the focus to do a 20-page thing. But then a couple people did call me, and those people are like, so you weren't happy with Dr. R, so you'd prefer a male doctor, right? And I'm like, I don't have any preference. I don't have like erectile dysfunction problems, anything like that. So I don't really think there'd be anything I'd feel uncomfortable speaking with a woman doctor over a male doctor. So I'm like, no, I don't care. And they're like, oh, okay. But you didn't like Dr. R. I said, I didn't feel we communicated properly. And in hindsight, yeah, I was being way, way too nice. But that's what I did. And then after like the third person asked me about the whole thing, like, so you really want a male doctor, huh? I'm like, why do people keep asking me this? I want a doctor that I can communicate with. Yeah, not at the VA. That was my problem, is that my expectations for this Medicaid reimbursement rate health system were way too grand, way too grand. So, anyways, I don't want this to run too long because I might struggle to upload it again. But the next doctor I saw, here's the email I sent him. Little teaser. I'm trying to get better at this social media stuff. But so Dr. A, after I saw you for over a year, and when we last spoke, you informed me that no one has diagnosed you with golf or illness. I have since found out that was your responsibility. Please never tell another veteran thank you for your service when your actions say fuck you for your service. And yeah, I still mean that. And I think he's a good doctor. I think the first one with you've got acne, I sent her an email. I said, please just quit, maybe, she could use her experience at VA and go like euthanize puppies or something. Whatever she does, I just hope it's away from like human healthcare systems. So, all right, I'm gonna relax a little bit. You can obviously tell I'm way under medicated. So, but I'm gonna work on that, and I'm gonna try to upload this, and I'll start the next video where I pick up with Dr. A, and you can figure out what A stands for.